Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us for this Spotlight Indie Write-Along. You all know me by now. I'm Frasier Armitage, part-time robot, full-time nerd, sometime host of this thing. And joining me are three amazing authors that I get to write along with today, as well as you guys. So, Alex, how's it going?
It's going good, thank you.
Amazing. We have Alex French, friend of the channel, friend of Spotlight Indie, and you're going to be working on your next book, right?
Yeah, I've finally made a decision. I'm just going to work on Trolls and Tarot today.
Nice. If you want to find out more about Trolls and Tarot, you can check out the beardy chat that we had with Alex over the big weekend, and then you'll find out a little bit more about that, which is cool. We also have Frank. Frank, how's it going?
It's going. How are you?
Yeah, I love it. It's going. It is going. Yeah. We're rocking and rolling, live and kicking.
It's such high energy today. I'm loving it.
Yeah. We should. It's just. I'm feeling the chill from you guys. It's good. It's like just chilled out vibes. What are you working on today, Frank?
I am working on the second draft of King of Embers. It's really more of a rewrite though, like a full rewrite. Yeah, because I basically scrapped everything that I did in the first draft. I stuck it in the archive and I've never looked at it since.
Love it. That's the best kind of rewrite where you're doing it from scratch. It's the best. Yeah. We also joining us. We have the adjectives are not enough for Emily Inkpen. Emily, how's it going?
I'm tired. There were some young people outside our house making noise at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is great for them. I'm not young, so not so great for me. And I had to be up at 7 for a haircut because I desperately needed it. So it was a bit rude today, to be honest, and I'm suffering, but I'm here.
Well, it is lovely to have you. And I wouldn't say that you're not young anymore. I would say that you're still in your prime. Like
I look younger than I am, but I'm like Bilbo, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got the ring, but as soon as you give the ring to someone else, then
I'm gonna be dust, man. I'm gonna be dust. Yeah. Like.
That's good. To all the 4 AM youths out there, thank you. And if you're joining us now, this is the person that you've kept up. So thanks ever so much for that. What are you going to be writing, Emily?
I'm going to be working. I'm very excited. I'm going to be working on season 2 of Wasteland, the audio drama. Yes. So season 1 has done very well. It's up for a BSFA award at the moment, which is very exciting. And we're sort of overdue for season 2. And I wrote the prologue a little while ago. And since then I've done absolutely nothing. So today...
Awesome. Love it. I'm going to be working on the book that I was working on last time. So I'm just coming out of the Monster Munch, chicken flavor Monster Munch section, which is good. And if anybody wants to find out what that's about, you can go to the Write Along for the big weekend. Yeah, everybody's got what they need. Everybody's got their supplies. We're rocking and rolling. Yeah. Love it. I'm not sure what pen to use. I need you to help me because I'm going to be. Okay. I've got this wooden pen, which writes in blue, and then I've got this blue pen that writes in black. This one's a Parker. This one's not. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm feeling today. I don't know if I'm feeling blue or black. So you guys need to help.
Parker.
The Parker pen.
Yes.
I'm never feeling blue.
Dabba dee dabba die.
No.
So we've got, but this writes in blue, but this is blue.
That's fine. No, I don't like writing in blue. The words are black.
Words are black.
Yes, the words are black.
So we got 2 votes for this one. Is it going to be a 3-0, Alex? Are you going for this one?
It's going to be a 3-0. Always write in black.
Always write in black.
There we go. There.
Love it. Hi, Thomas. Tom's in the chat. Great to see you. Let us know what you're working on, Thomas. That would be great, and how you're doing. Yeah, thank you for joining us. And to everybody else who's in the chat or who's tuning in, let us know what you're writing. Thanks for helping me choose my pen, guys. It's perfect. So, yeah, I think we should just dive straight in, right? Let's just go for it. And then 25 minutes later, we will see how everybody's getting on and give each other a hand. Boom. So here goes. Less than 30 seconds, guys, and we'll have finished this first stint. And 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up.
Boop, boop.
How's it going, everybody? Happy with that?
Yeah. Hold on. What have I got?
I got like a solid 3 pages, which is pretty good.
Nice.
Very good.
That is good. Yeah.
What did you get, Alex? How's it gone for you?
I'm just trying to work out because I had to move some paragraphs around. But I think I got about 3.5.
Awesome. What about you, Frank?
Yeah, I got about 300 and odd words done.
Nice.
Yeah, not crazy productive, but good because it's like a pivotal scene in a pivotal chapter that I was trying to get right first time around. So yeah, I'm cool with that.
Like it. I like it. What about you, Em?
I got 327 words, which for a script format is not very much at all, but I really had to find my feet with this because it's episode 1 of a new season and I got to work out what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
I like it. I like it. Thomas has been working on his next Vermin novella. Scrapped about 20,000 words, Reese. That's a lot of words to scrap, Thomas, but I like it. I like your fearlessness. Holly is not with us today because she's been moving about 2 tons of earth, rock, and gravel and is now useless. Poor Holly. I mean, obviously, she's probably... I hope that she's just been gardening and that she hasn't been sort of digging graves for,
excavating.
Yeah. Which is more akin to her grimdark books, I think. But like, yeah.
Demolishing an enemy's house.
Yes. Yeah. Burying them under it. That's her style.
Is anyone getting a new patio? Is that...
Tell us more about this pivotal scene, Frank. Is it like one of these pinch points in a chapter where you're bringing loads of things together, or is it like one of these pivotal scenes where it's like establishing something important for someone?
Yeah. So, like, obviously, I don't want to.
Yeah, no spoilers. Yeah.
But, basically, there's a character that was in the first book of this trilogy who is called the Enkindled King, with all this like fire power and stuff, and the second book is basically his journey to being that. And I've just written the chapter where he does something absolutely awful which affects it affects the history of the place, it affects the future of it, but because he's like this big power hungry bigoted tyrant in the making, it's kind of like his whole I'm an asshole kind of thing. And it's like he does something where it becomes like he's reaching like not quite the peak of his power, but he's on the cusp of it, and it's just a very big kind of like gut punch scene with like a very sort of visceral sort of death in like a character story stuff. I won't say no more, but it was quite hard to write. It's taken me about a week, and it's about 4,500 words long. So it was a heavy.
Mate, that's very off-brand for you. Vicious deaths and gut punch scenes. That's like
yeah.
No, if there's anybody who's like equipped for that, it's you, Frank. That's like
Cheers.
Yeah.
So, like Thomas as well about scrapping 20k words. I wouldn't worry about scrapping that. Like literally for this book, I scrapped 150k word draft, so it's all right.
Yeah. So you've got like what, another 130k to go, Thomas, before you can match Frank. We could maybe do that in this session. See if you can scrap.
It's never a competition.
No, of course not. Of course not. No.
I just want to remind everyone of that before everyone ends up with like draft 0 by the end of this writing session.
Yeah, Holly's gone back to like 0 words on her like Vanguard 3, and yeah, Thomas is like minus 20,000 words. Yeah.
Welcome to Spotlight Indie's new Scrap Along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like, that would be kind of good. Like, that sounds like it's like scrapping like with one another. That would be, we could probably do that. Pit indie author
you know
against
what?
indie author to the death.
It could be a fun thing, like the edit along, and at the end of it, it's like, how many words did you manage to delete
Yeah.
in this session? That would be a fun one.
Yeah. Come and check out our junk, everybody. Terrible. What a terrible marketing slogan that would be. I think when it comes to like those pivotal scenes though, Frank, like, do you feel kind of like a pressure with writing them? Because I know for me, I feel like if you've got a scene that's important for one reason or another, it's almost like the scene becomes something bigger in my head than it should be.
Yeah, it's quite difficult, especially when I think you're doing like early drafts, because it never turns out as cool as what you think it's going to be in your head, and then you read the back and you're like, no, like, so yeah, I hear it on that, mate. It's kind of like I find that my rate goes down, like my writing pace, like, because like, no, I've got to have like the perfect word. It's got to be the perfect metaphor. It's got to be artful, and then you go back, you read it a couple of weeks later, and it's like, he did the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What helps you get past it though? Like, what helps you get like the words down? Has anybody got any techniques for it, for what helps them when they feel like pressure from a scene?
Yeah, I do.
Care to share?
I strip back. If I worry too much about getting the perfect word, I can't do it. And so sometimes it's just a case of like, I'm very sort of immersed writer. So I just sort of take a minute and just completely sink into it. And then I'm just like, okay, describe what I see. And, like, describe what is happening, and just take away any of the artistry from it and just get down exactly what is happening and exactly what I'm seeing in very plain English. And then sometimes you go back to it and you realize that actually what you wrote, by just describing what was there in quite plain terms, it can be quite harrowing, because it's just, there's no like disguising it. There's no like poetry to it. It is almost just more blunt, which works, I guess, for my style. But then you can weave in the other stuff. But if you're stuck, because sometimes, I mean, I write like really dense and visceral fight scenes as well, and they are really hard work. I find them quite hard work. And I always try to sit and do them in one session, because once you're in them, it's quite difficult to sort of like come out and then go back in and come out and go back in. So sometimes I'll put a placeholder in where a fight happens and then come back to it when I know I've got the energy. But sometimes it is just a case of, okay, what exactly is happening here? Describe it, and then go back and add artistry.
Having read some of Emily's like draft ones of things and done beta readings for her, I can confirm that there are just bullet points which say things like stabby stabby, punchy stabby death, which is good. I'm like, yeah, I get everything I want from that scene. Perfect.
I mean, to be fair, that's alpha reading at that point, not beta reading, I will say.
But it's a good technique. Like, just because once the words are out there, you know what you're building on then, which is pretty good. Thanks, Emily. What about you, Alex? Have you got a little hack that you try for like when you feel pressure from the book?
Completely the opposite. I just splurge everything that's in my head on the page and then tidy it up afterwards.
You're a splurger. Yeah.
Yep.
I like it. What do you reckon, Frank? Are you somewhere in between the splurge and the bare bones?
Kind of. I usually find that if I really get stuck with stuff and it starts slowing me down too much to the point where I start getting frustrated, I'll like I said, he did the thing, and then I'll come back at a later date, and then it'll be, he did the thing coolly, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But better.
Yeah.
I like it. I think my technique is I sometimes will sort of just I will step away and work on something different. just to like take the pressure off of the scene, because sometimes I get so in the scene and I'm like, have to get this down, that it gets to a point where it's just like, oh, like, is this, if I work on something else, it's almost like you ease the pressure of that scene, you can come back to it because you're in the groove for something, you know? Like I've talked about this before, I have this draft of a story that is on my computer that I will just go to and just start typing in, and it's a story I don't care about, just to get the words up. And then once I've got like a couple of hundred words done, I'll just switch into something I really care about, or I feel like pressure from. It's like I'm already in that zone, and it's like I can carry it in. But yeah, that's a fun thing to do. What would your project be that you don't care about, Alex? If you were to like just start a project, just like, oh, this story, I don't care about this story, what would it be?
That's a good question.
Because I know the story you're writing at the minute is something that's quite personal to you, right? So like, yeah, just like the I don't care draft, what would it, yeah, it's a good thing to think about, right?
I'd probably, because I've got this recurring character who crops up in most of my work called Clanmere Clanson, and I've got a bunch of short stories for him that I want to eventually turn into an anthology when I release his proper book. I would probably just go and write another Clanmere Clanson short story.
Nice.
That would be my throwaway thing.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. What about you, Emily? What would your throwaway thing be?
Okay, so I already kind of have one. It's my therapy outlet. So many horrible things happen in my novels that I'm writing my own fan fiction of my novel where nice things happen instead. And so I've literally got this controlled environment where I can go and do ridiculous stuff that I would never do in real life in my work. And that's where I go. And it's a happy place. It's a happy place of ridiculousness. And then I continue torturing them.
I love it. So like they go out for afternoon tea, hold hands under the table. Everyone's a winner, right?
Everyone's living happily ever after.
I love it.
Great. Yeah.
If anybody wants to read those, you should release them as that should be what you're thinking, what you're writing, and you could do the romantasy route, and then it'd be great.
Just confuse everybody.
Yeah. Have this really dark audio drama, and then in the background, just have like, so we're having a tea party at 10. If anyone wants to come.
Is this like what's a face writing Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey?
I don't know.
And releasing them both.
Yeah, pretty much. That would be good.
And just
yeah. What about you, Frank? Have you got a throwaway idea that is secretly in there somewhere?
I don't know about throwaway. I did throw a lot of stuff that I had little ideas for but didn't really care about into short stories. So a bit like Alex, but I don't know if I'll ever write anything longer for them. Like they were just sort of little things in my head, and I was doing a short story competition, so just got them all out of me. And it was kind of like it was a difficult stretch of writing for me anyway, so it was a good little bit of therapy to just write something. I don't know, someone getting stalked down a dark alley by some evil thing, and then I don't know, all kinds of little stupid little things like that. I think I wrote about 12 of them.
Yeah. I like it. So if you're tuning in to this at any point, either rewatching it or you're tuning in live, and you've struggled in that first section to get words down, why not just start like a short story or a bit of fan fiction and spend 10 minutes just hammering out words on it, stuff that you don't care about, then go back to the project that you're working on and see if it helps over this next 25 minutes. I feel like that's a real productive little write-in conversation. Thanks, guys.
I advocate doing random fan fiction. Like it's really fun. Just pick characters from your book and just do a random, like, ridiculous little fan fiction of them. Yeah. I
love it. Yeah. Right.
It's really fun.
Everybody ready to like buckle down and another 25 minute stint? Let's do it, guys.
Do it.
See you in 25. And we're back. It sneaks up on you, that one, doesn't it? Were you just in a flow then? That was the sigh of, oh, I'm just writing something good and now I have to stop.
There is some truth in that.
How did it go, everybody? Went well?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. I got another 300 words done. I've just literally just started the next chapter as well. So that's 300 down on that one. I usually struggle opening a chapter 2, so quite pleased.
That's great. I got another 3 pages. It's good.
Nice.
Consistent. Like it. What about you, Alex?
I've just splurged 918 words of the troll version of the Reform Party's leadership speech.
Oh, that's fun.
I like it. It's good to
Of course you vomited that, and it's probably perfect.
Yep. None of it makes any sense, but...
No.
I like it.
In 25 minutes, though.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's a good splurge. Yeah. What about you, Em?
So I've got another 300-ish words. I'm into not episode 2. That would have been amazing. Scene 2.
Nice. Nice.
So.
What's it? So everybody here, apart from me, but all of you guys, you're all working on sequels, right? What's it like working on a book that you've already, or a plot, a series that you've already established the world of and everything? Do you find it easier to get into with like a sequel, or do you find that there comes a little bit of a necessity to like try something different or take it in a different direction or more of the same? Or how do you approach a sequel?
Mine's not.
Isn't it? Isn't yours set in the same world?
It's set in the same world, but it's a spin-off, not a sequel.
Gotcha.
This is mine's purely set in a city this time, whereas before it was a quest across the country. So it's complete. It feels completely different.
Is that helping, do you think?
A little bit. The only problem is it's such a serious topic. I'm really struggling to inject humor into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Apart from these 918 words you've just done. Yeah. Yeah, which is good. What about you guys? Are you guys, is it very different, the direction you guys are taking it, Frank and Emily, or are you guys doing sort of like similar stuff again?
I think I'm gonna say, because I'm a bridge, I'm a spin-off and a sequel. So this is a sequel to the spin-off audio drama, which belongs to the Dex Legacy universe. So I don't know. It's fear, because once one's gone out and people like it, you don't want to cock it up. So there's an element of fear and of just worry. I think I always get that, to be honest, when I'm writing anything. I get an element of like, just, I need to get this right. But then at the same time, when you're actually writing it, you kind of forget that and it goes away. Maybe I've got too many mind. But yeah, and it's also just working out where I want this to go. And because it's a spin-off and the storylines run kind of parallel, I have to know what's going on in this place at the same time as what's happening in this place. And dropping the bit that I'm doing right now is like setting up basically some foreshadowing, but also a bit of a oh God, what's the word? I did not get enough sleep last night. Easter egg into it. So it's like they're observing something that is significant, but they don't know it. And you know, they might not know it for another like 3 episodes until the end of the thing. So I'm basically setting up a chunk of foreshadowing.
I like it.
A moment. Yeah.
Yeah, setting up chunks. I like it. It's good. What about you, Frank?
So I don't know. I always have to be a little bit off kilter, and I don't really mean to be. So mine is book 2 of a trilogy, but it's a prequel to the first book. but it's also its own self-contained story. And I know as soon as I hit publish on this, someone's going to email me and say, what the hell? I thought this was the next part of the story, and I won't really have an answer for it.
Like,
Yeah.
It's quite difficult because, a bit like what you were saying, there's things in this book that I sort of set up in the first book as like, because it's all about like these sort of mythological characters, the first book, and they're all full of mighty boasts and, you know, that kind of thing. And they're all like, haha, I did this great thing so many years back, and haha, I did this great thing, and remember when that happened? And that's actually in this story now. So I'm actually sort of like, oh crap, how do I stitch all this into something like that actually looks like a narrative and makes sense? Like,
I feel you so hard.
like there was one thing in the first book where a character called Nath boasts about how fast he is, and you know, it's like, haha, I once ran the entire length of this island in 2 hours, you know, hundreds of miles, because they're superhuman giants, these dudes. And I'm actually writing that scene right now. It's kind of like he's running however many hundreds of miles an hour, and how do I actually sort of make that make sense? It's quite difficult. And the next couple of chapters are going to have to be tied up around where he sort of boasts to a woman that he's trying to engage with. You know, I killed the demon king of what was it, Golmore, and you know, that is actually something I'm going to do now, except he wasn't a demon, he was just some dude. Like, yeah. It's quite hard.
Kudos to you for actually writing the scene as he's telling it. I would have been so tempted for him to find some kind of technology that just allowed him to cross from there to there, or some kind of magic, and he's just like, yeah, I ran it, of course I did. Yeah, like
yeah.
I would have just made it 4 hours instead of 2.
Yeah. Every time he tells it gets shorter. Like,
yeah. It was 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Is it kind of, it must be weird though, because it puts you back in that place. I guess, are all of you having this? I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Alex, about this being a comedy, because you've already established the world as comedy, and then you're having to get back into that zone. Are you kind of like revisiting the writer that you were when you wrote the first thing of this? Kind of like in your head, do you come across moments where you're like, oh yeah, I remember coming up with that, or oh yeah, I remember what it felt like to be doing this or to be doing that, and then you're a different writer now to you were back then? Do you have that kind of like realization moments? Because I imagine that if I was writing a sequel to something that I'd written ages ago, I would be having those moments all the time, like, why did I think this was a good idea? Or why did I include this? Or like, what was up with this? Or even just like, oh yeah, I remember when I came up with that. Like, that was cool. Like, wasn't I cool back then? Like, are any of you having those moments?
The worst bit for me is deciding that the tusks on trolls mean that they can't pronounce THs. So they always pronounce the first TH in a word as duh. And I stuck with that religiously, even though I had quite a few trolls in the first book. I stuck with it religiously. And now the new book is set entirely in the troll capital city.
Have you just got red wiggly line all over
everywhere?
Can you not just like add to dictionary? Add to
I'm going to have to, I think.
Yeah.
It is a nightmare. I've had to bring in little caveats like it doesn't apply to young trolls because their tusks aren't big enough, and really elderly trolls it doesn't happen to because their tusks are worn down, and it's only male trolls who grow the massive predominant lower jaw tusks. So I've given myself some breathing space by having women, kids, and the elderly not having to do it.
Being able to pronounce their THs.
Yeah,
but then you're also kind of screwed, because if it's not universal, then you've got to be really on it with the ones who do, and then if you slip up and suddenly there's a TH in there.
I'm trying to
You
cut
know, there's
down
going to be
on
one person that goes.
Yeah, there will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the way, right? It's the way.
That's the editor's problem, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's good how you start sort of, it's going to be every troll in book one. And now you're like giving yourself caveats of like, oh no, I need this, I need that. By the time that you write like the third book, it's only going to be like a certain race of trolls. And then it's only going to be by the fourth book, it's going to be like this tribe within a race or this city exclusive. Like it could be good until eventually you just work it out. Like by book 5, you're just giving THs and you're like, yes, I did it.
Maybe maybe the tusks could be like not fashionable. So they're like just chopping them off and they can suddenly pronounce their THs.
I have been thinking about having a fashion statement in the troll capital where some trolls file their tusks down.
Yeah. You should do like a tusk removal service.
It's for elocution purposes.
Yeah, elocution. The elocution letters are like basically dentists who just come and yank your tusks out. They're like, there you go, you can speak now. Like, yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, I like how we got there from like, are you having like existential moments while you're writing to like, yeah, let's pull some tusks out. I really like the route we took together. What about you? What about you guys? Are you kind of having those moments of like, oh yeah, I remember this?
I'm working on, because like the entire audio drama is a prequel to the original trilogy that I wrote, and it's set like 11 years before. And the original book in the original trilogy is constantly referring back to these horrific things that happened in their childhoods, and you know, oh yeah, you know, things were awful back then, and it just sort of says it. Then of course, like you're writing their actual childhood and their teen years, and you're thinking, oh great, now I've got to actually do the horrible things to them, and people have actually got to witness it, instead of it all just being a sort of like, oh yeah, that happened, and then moving on. Nope, now it's got to actually happen. And also it's odd because it's like they sort of tell these stories about a thing happening, and I got to work out, okay, well, where were they when that happened psychologically in the progress of things? Because if it was before this big event, then they wouldn't be quite so disillusioned as after this event. And I've got to like, but the timelines, they sort of refer to these things happening before, like, oh yeah, that happened, but they're not necessarily specific. It's not like in their recollections they're thinking exactly 5 years and 3 months ago this thing happened. They're just saying back in the past. That you've got to work out and map out exactly how disenfranchised and how exhausted and how awful their life had been up until this point, to then get their emotional responses right. And it's tricky because like as the story progresses, one of them specifically becomes much more combative towards the people who are in charge. And of course that can't happen immediately. They have to go through certain things. He has to do a certain amount of growing up before he's going and like testing his limits and testing their boundaries. So I know it happens, but if I get excited about this and bring it in too early, then it's not realistic, you know. It's just, so yeah, I mean, sometimes knowing exactly where you're going can be a real pain in the ass, you know.
Yeah, mapping out a character's disenfranchisement sounds like a hoot. I'm not gonna lie, like
so much fun. Yeah, exactly. On a scale of shit to shitter, where was his mental state at this point?
Yeah, let's dive in, guys. That'll make me feel good. This writing session. Woo! And what about you, Frank? Are you having sort of like epiphany moments?
I don't know, because with the way that I'm writing this, the characters that are in it, the characters that I've spent a lot of time with previously and really enjoyed writing. But it's about 50, 60 years earlier in the timeline. So they're both younger and they're both different people. So it's been a weird mix of sort of rediscovering the voice I had while I was writing about 6 years ago at this point. But also having to sort of adapt it because one of the characters in particular, Nath, is young headstrong and hasn't sort of earned his sort of fame and boasting rights at this point. Like I had a little bit of fun with it because one of the things that he always says in like the first book is, I'm not flex. Like that usually makes people go, oh shit. But there's a scene early on in this book where there's a bit of a fight going off, and like this big warrior steps out and just goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I'm not," and he goes, "Never heard of you." And then it's little moments like that have been quite fun, but it's a bit of experience with them.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Are we ready for diving back in?
Yep.
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. It's the final 25 minutes, and then we will wrap it all up. So, yeah, all the best. And we are done.
Woo!
Isn't it great when it gets you right in the middle of a sentence? You're like, oh, I really want to finish it, but like...
Yeah, it was literally just writing something too.
Yeah.
Really, it had me going. Like, I was looking forward to that episode.
Yes. I think I'm like another 3 and a bit pages. And I'm pretty much done with this chapter, which is great. I've written like a chapter today. So I'm well chuffed with that.
It's good.
Yeah. What about you guys? Everybody happy?
Yeah.
Oh, Alex, you need to unmute.
I think I did 380 words just then. So a little bit better.
That's like almost 1,000 overall, isn't it, Frank?
Yeah, 980 for 3 sprints.
Good work. What about you, Alex?
500 this time. I started a new chapter and I had to think about what was actually going to be in the chapter first.
Yeah.
Lazy.
So I don't plan anything.
So that's like 1,500 words for you, Alex, over the speech and that. 1,000 words for Frank. What about you, Emily?
So some imminent admin popped up in that last sprint, so I got about 750 words in, but I'm into my third scene, which is good.
So you're like 1,200, 1,300 words overall. We got Thomas rounding out about 900 words. Finish a chapter. Nice one, Thomas. And then I've got probably around about chapter's worth of words. What's that? I don't know, like 1,500, 2,000 words or something. That is loads of words. How good is that? Smashed it.
Way more words than I had before.
Yeah.
When there were no words.
Once there were no words, and then there were words. Yeah. Yeah, the gospel of Spotlight Indie.
Words.
Yeah. No, well done, guys. That's been really good. I'm glad you've all found it productive. Have you got any big takeaways about sort of like the sprint sesh today? Anything that you're going to be, because we potentially have made memories today where you're going to be looking back when you're writing the spin-offs and the sequels to what you're doing now, and you'll be having an epiphany moment and like, this happened in the right along with Frasier. So what have you guys had fun? You guys had any good highlights of the day so far?
Yeah, Alex doing 900 and odd words in 25 minutes. Like,
yeah.
What is wrong with you? Like, how do I get that?
There's an awful lot of red underlining in there.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of typos I'm going to have to go over.
Yeah. I think my highlight was Emily saying to Frank, "I feel you so hard." I was like, "What's going on there?" But out of
Fortunately,
context.
I mean, like, if we were in the same room, that might have been misconstrued in all sorts of ways. Fortunately, we're quite far apart.
Which makes it even more impressive, Frank.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right.
Help!
So, thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks Thomas. Thanks Holly. Thanks everybody else who's tuning in and catching up on this later. Thanks everybody. Thanks Emily. Thanks Frank. Thanks Alex. Tell us where we can find you to keep following you and catching up on your progress of your books and everything. Alex, where can people find you?
I'm on most social media as A Frog in Time, and I'm also on the Page Chewing Forum and kicking around on various podcasts and throwing myself into other people's projects as much as possible.
Love it. What about you, Frank?
Right, so my website is still down and I don't know what's wrong with it. So yeah, go to facebook.com/Grim Frankie. I will probably update at some point.
Awesome. All the best with fixing I love that you didn't try and fix your website as part of this, that you were writing. That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, we could do that the next write along. We could do like a Fix Frank's website-a-thon. That'd be good. Yeah,
we'll do 25-minute sprints of me shouting at IT support.
I'd tune in for that, 100%. Emily, where can people find you?
So I'm at Emily Inkpen everywhere. I'll also have emilyinkpen.com. And if you want to tune into Wasteland, which is what I was working on today, you can find it at Wasteland, A Dex Legacy Story on any podcast platform, wherever you listen to podcasts. And it's a lot of fun. It's mech sci-fi. So think Titanfall, if you know classic games. But yeah, it has been described as Slow Horses meets Thunderbirds. Yeah,
the crossover we all need.
Absolutely. It's the crossover nobody asked for, but we all deserve.
Yeah. It's a very, very grumpy elderly person, sort of like on strings doing this. Yeah. Which is great. Yeah. No, I love both of those things. And I love Wasteland as well. So yeah. Thanks for giving us more of it, Emily. You know where to find Spotlight Indie, spotlightindie.co.uk. At Spotlight Indie on all the socials, and of course this YouTube channel. If you found us here, then you found us. Congratulations. There's more coming from us. We'll be back again next week. There'll be no video tomorrow because we've done this, but we'll be back again next week with another new thing. So tune in again then, and until then, keep writing, guys, and stay awesome.